Moving on then to probably the biggest announcement to come out of Inspire, which is Windows 365. Windows 365 is a new cloud-based service that creates an easy-to-access virtual PC. It securely streams the full Windows experience, so that includes all of your apps, data and settings from the Microsoft Cloud to any personal or business-owned device. So just as Microsoft brought Office to the cloud with Office 365 and Microsoft 365, they're doing exactly the same with Windows. It now evolves to being a device from being a device-based OS to a hybrid personal computing platform, which makes it more flexible for people to use for business. It's more scalable and it's more powerful for innovation. Windows 365 is a cloud service available to businesses of all sizes, securely streaming the full Windows experience. So you can do this to any personal or corporate device. With Windows 365, you can assign users to one or more cloud PCs that align with the work that they need to do. So each cloud PC can align to a different configuration of compute power and storage, depending on what the person is doing at the time and what their role is. Windows has been at the heart of Microsoft for decades and is the most fundamental platform that we use for work and learning, creativity and development. The cloud PC is your personalized desktop and your apps and all your settings streamed securely from the cloud to any device. So this literally does mean you can use it on your work laptop, you can use it on your mobile phone, on any Android or Mac. You can use it anywhere. Any device that can get an internet connection, you'll be able to use a Windows 365 cloud computer on it. The integration between the cloud and the PC operating system means that you get a fluid and consistent experience. And there's unified security features so that wherever you're working and on any device, all the data that you're accessing is secure. Adam, how does Windows 365 differ from other virtualization options we've had until now? Why is this such a big deal?
The biggest thing that I can see so far is it's subscription based. So it's if I want one virtual PC, I can have one virtual PC. With the current models, the Azure virtual desktop, you have to put a big infrastructure behind it to generate that one virtual PC, and that's the other part of this is that it's really simple to do, or at least in theory. It's if I want one PC, I go in, I select the subscription for one PC, and I get one PC. If I want 5, I pay for 5, and it runs up to I think it's the limit is 300, is what they're aiming at. And it is that it's relatively simple to implement in its most basic form.
Okay, yeah, that's sort of what I've gathered from what Microsoft have been saying about this, is that they've listened to the problems that we've had over the last year, not just us, everyone who's been trying to manage this sudden change to working from home or managing a workforce who could be anywhere really. And they've realised that, you know, getting devices out to people was quite tricky at the beginning, and this is an answer to all of that really. It's keeping it simple, allowing people to use the equipment that they need when they need it.
Exactly.
Okay, so the Windows 365 Cloud PC experience is versatile, familiar and productive. It offers users the content that they're used to really. It won't look any different in practice to the computer that they've been used to working on. All they need to do, first of all, to access it is just go via an internet connection. So it's simple. The management of it is simple as well. So the IT department can manage all of these cloud PCs from a single console and deploy them as and when they need them. It's available on any device and optimized for the best experience on a Windows PC. So no matter what device you're using, you'll get a really user-friendly interface that you know how to use already. You don't have to learn anything new. And lastly, it's scalable and resilient to support the changing workforce and new business scenarios. So as I was saying just now, as the world changes so quickly, the Windows 365 Cloud PC should be able to change with you as well. The aim of Windows 365 is to deliver the simplicity, versatility and security that is needed to enable really good hybrid work. This is for both the users, the end users, and the IT department themselves. So everybody is a winner. The end user will be able to boot instantly to their Cloud PC, streaming their personalized Windows experience, all of their apps, content and settings that they're used to any device. The Windows 365 is streamed from the cloud and travels with the user. So it's always ready, always updated, and whenever they need to work. So you can drop it on one device, pick it straight up on another device, and all the settings will be exactly the same. The state of the Cloud PC remains the same, even when you do switch the devices. So it's simple and versatile, and it's delivered all in the cloud. For the IT department, it's simplified as well, because the procurement, deployment, management, and updates are all managed in the same sphere within the Microsoft Cloud. It uses virtualization behind the scenes. So rather than having to get involved in all the nitty-gritty of setting up each individual virtual desktop, you just be able to set up a Cloud PC, and all the difficult updates will be handled in the cloud. It offers many configuration options to easily scale to meet employees' needs. So with the right processing power and storage to do the job, for example, if you change a role, it's a click of a button to get yourself a more powerful PC that can handle the difficult work that you're doing. It's secure by design, so any security updates are handled by Microsoft as well. It's just another load off of the IT department's mind, and it's all Windows 365 takes away the layers of security complexity and recommends the best security settings for the environment at hand. We know that with, like, for example, Azure Virtual Desktop, the procurement process can also be tedious. So Windows 365 makes purchasing Cloud PCs much easier. It's just a predictable per user per month pricing model. We've had a few people wondering, how is Windows 365 different to Azure Virtual Desktop? And in fact, will Microsoft be looking to replace Azure Virtual Desktop? The answer to that is no. They're very much foreseeing that both solutions will work side by side, and it just depends on your needs as a business. So Azure Virtual Desktop is optimized for flexibility, whereas Windows 365 is optimized for simplicity. These features carry down. You can see the comparisons between the two, and this, because of the flexibility of Azure Virtual Desktop, that means that it's consumption-based pricing. So month to month, you could end up paying different amounts depending on your usage. Whereas Windows 365 has been simplified. It's just a one-off subscription. It's predictable per user per month. With Windows 365, you can leverage your existing infrastructure. It's ideal if you have a short-term contractor, for example, who already has a personal device and just needs access to your systems. You can set them up with a Cloud PC that already has that security clearance. Or, for example, if you acquire a new business and suddenly have loads of new staff who need to start working straight away, again, you can get them working on the devices they already have and just set them up with Cloud PCs that are accessed by that device gateway. Windows 365 delivers native integration across Azure AD and Microsoft Defender, along with Microsoft 365 applications, and it's all managed with Microsoft Endpoint Manager. It requires no special skills or previous experience with virtualization because it allows IT to use the same tools that you use today to manage your devices, which is Microsoft Endpoint Manager. So this is the summary. Windows 365 for Enterprise is available across all devices and platforms with your choice of Windows 10 or Windows 11 when it comes along. You can configure your Cloud PCs across configuration options to meet any of your users' compute or storage needs, and you can scale up and down as and when you need. All these configuration options are available with predictable per user per month pricing, so you always know what you're getting and what it's going to cost. So Adam, you alluded to this earlier, I think. I know you've tried to set up your own Windows 365 trial account. How have you found it so far?
Yes, interesting. I was there the morning it came out and I went, oh, let's do this. And the first landing page I got to went, we're overwhelmed with subscriptions and we're putting a pause on things. So it still let me log into my tenant and let me go in and fire up one of the free subscriptions, which is one of their trials. They're doing trials for 60 days. But now I'm sitting on a screen where it's going provisioning and it's not letting me get any further. I think sometimes Microsoft don't foresee how popular some of their decisions are going to be. The same happened with Teams at the beginning of the pandemic. You went to get new Teams and it just went, no, we can't do that. You're going to have to wait for it. So I'm sitting there waiting. I'm very excited to try it. I can see lots of use case scenarios for smaller customers where this is going to change the way they do things. As you mentioned, things like contractors, people floating in, floating out, don't have to worry about their endpoint devices. You just have to put the right client on their machine and they can access it. And I think that's going to revolutionize some things.
Yeah, and I think especially with the way we're working nowadays, it just cuts out so much of that waiting around time. If you're a contractor starting somewhere new, you don't want to wait for a laptop to be delivered to your house.
That's exactly it. And the portability, like, as you mentioned, the being able, I'm sitting at a PC, I'm working on my cloud desktop. I go and sit in the living room. I've got my iPad in front of me. I can connect to that same cloud desktop and do all the same things that I was doing in front of my PC. That's where it's going to come into its own.
Yeah, we look forward to it when we can get it all working and
Yes.
Microsoft has enough available space.